That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bit. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yes, so yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Hello, welcome. Sorry, had a little bit of a dilemma there. My computer tried to restart for some reason. So hopefully we've stopped it. So yeah, hopefully we've stopped it. It was just trying to reboot. Hey?
Mine's not doing anything.
Have you wiggled the mouse? It's one of those days. It's one of those days. She's got it. She's got it. Right, so welcome to all. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming over to another Sunday Lunchtime Live. As you all know, we're going to finish the Milliput Platter that we started last week. It's all dry, all hard. So we're going to turn this off and finish the front. Back's all done, so we don't need to worry about that too much. A little bit of Milliput on the back there where I've put my sticky fingers on it, but we'll clean that off. So yeah, this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to announce the hashtag. Something different, something that I've never done the hashtag is. And I haven't had a chance to practice. So, dicey. But it'd be so interesting.
Are you doing it tonight?
Yes, I am. So I've lost all my YouTube chat as well, so I've just got to quickly open that back up because I've lost everything on this computer for some reason. I don't know why.
Mine's fine.
Yeah, yours is fine. Glad yours is fine.
Because
if I've not gone, I have no chat up and I can't see. I don't know if we're still going live. Are you seeing me on there or?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we're still live then. I didn't know whether it cancelled off my my live, but we'll have a look. Yeah, I don't know why. As soon as I went to press to go live, it tried to reset. There we go. We're still running up sweet. So good. Should bring my chat back up. There we go. Right. So anyway, welcome. I'm going to get this into the chuck and start cleaning this off, and then we'll see what effects we got with the different colours we put into it. So you never know until it's like resin. You never know until you turn off this excess. Yeah, got it right. Not excess. Until you turn this excess off and see what's underneath it. Hopefully, we're going to get some nice mottled effect with the black under there, but we're not going to know. So I'll get this in the lathe and get it turned. But before I start, I've got to show you my awesome cup my friends bought me. This is my awesome cup my friends bought me. My friends Jim and Kirsty bought me this for my birthday. Look, I turn wood into things. What's your superpowers? Awesome cup. And it changes colour. So before you put hot liquid in it, it's black and you can't see what's on it. So when you put liquid in it, it then changes colour. So it's really cool. So right, I'm going to get on now. Enough talking. So yeah, I think so. So let's go on to that and that. Right. So I'll get my chuck on, get it mounted, and Nick will welcome you all in. Oh no, she's too slow. No, I'm joking.
Okie doke. So, good afternoon, everybody. Steve, it's really hot in here.
I know. I'll turn the heater off.
So, good afternoon to Woodbury by Colin, Sid's Repurposing, Weaval's Tickle Turnings, Norman Greenwell, Woodturning by Barry, Keith Jarvis, Gary Glass, Chris Dodds, Brian Watkins.
Brian Watkins.
That's because he's got that Spanish bit on his.
Brian with a Y.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yes, I'm getting Brian with a Y.
That's what Brian calls him. Brian with a Y. Right, let's just focus these cameras in.
Dr. Bob's on.
Hi, Dr. Bob. How are you? Hope you're well.
Dara's on. David J. Heath, the Guildford Carpenter. Colin Izzard. Brian at Hartwood Turnen. Todd at Glen Cove Woodworks. We also have Christine and Michael Hesseltine.
Good afternoon.
We also have Pete from Twisted Trees. Mark Gentleman Woodturner's on. Grandpa
Mark.
Jim Woodturner's on. Tipsy Turner. We also have Barry's Wood Creations. Roger Kent. Doug Miller at Wood Spun Around. Mr. G's Woodturning.
Good afternoon. Or good afternoon. Mr. G was in on Friday night, so
right.
welcome back.
John Mooney. William Kenny. Jappy Mate.
Hi, Jappy.
Nick Castle. Wyvie Woodshed. GTD Blair.
Hi, Blair.
Greg Alexander. Woodwork Learner. Amy's on as well. Hi, Amy. Greg Alexander. Michelle Owlsby's on. I was
Hi,
only
Michelle.
$12.99, Michelle.
What?
Pete said, Nikki, tell that bloke to shut up talking about mugs all over your channel. Michael McEwen's on. Steve Fleming, Woodworm Paul. So I'm going from bottom to top now because it's flipped down. Right, I think I've done that way. Oh, Terry, TJ Turner. Hi, Terry. Like I say every week, if I've missed you, just give me a nudge at the bottom because it jumps and I don't know where I've got to. So William Rose Creates is on as well. Welcome to everybody. If I've missed you, just say, give me a shout out and I will. I did see further up the page, Colin, Woodridge Colin, said that he has done a 3-piece oak vase and it's premiering tomorrow. So
Nice.
I am going to put the link in for that because I've got it up to go across and have a look.
When's it premiering? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 11 in the morning. So go along and have a look and show your support for Woodridge by Colin, who's putting out this premiere tomorrow. There you go. The link is in the chat. Oh, Yorkshire Gits on.
Hi, Glenn.
How could I miss you, Glyn? Sorry. I'm just having a quick flick back through, but obviously it only goes so far now, doesn't it?
So we're just removing this over burden of the Milliput. I mean, it's always nice to put more than what you want in there because if
Benjamin's on.
Hi, Ben. So you make sure you get in all the nooks and crannies, but then you've got to remove it all, unfortunately. But
Dr. Bob said it's that weird season again, rain to snow to mud, and everyone has a cold. Greetings from Detroit.
There's a lot of coals going around here as well, isn't there?
Gary Glass said, watching these demos is getting very expensive. After all the chat on the last live, I ended up calling at the woodshed and buying a Pro Edge.
You won't be disappointed, mate. I know they're a lot of money, but so just keep going. Just keep checking it, make sure we don't get no chipping out, really. Let's try
Pete's put that looks messy. Makes me wonder when Brian's going to turn resin with Milliput inlays.
not that bad.
No.
It's not that bad. It's not as bad as it's not as messy as resin, that's for sure.
Terry said, yeah, all the colds came from Pete. Mark said, I think Brian should turn a steeple bowl and with resin and Milliput inlays for maximum mess.
I think Ryan's still recovering from a last lot of resin he turned.
Your dad's on.
Hi, Dad, how you doing?
Woodwork Learner said, does that Milliput dust stick to those white walls?
No, it's not as static.
Because it's
Static.
sticking to your hand, I think that's why.
Yeah, no, it's not as bad as the resin. It's not as sticky as the resin. It's just got a little bit of a lip on there still.
Jennifer's Craft Creations is on.
Oh, Jennifer.
Terry said, does the tools need sharpening more often when you're turning Milliput?
Yeah, it does take the edge off them. It's like resin. It will take the edge off them a little bit quicker. But I think it's worth it anyway.
Dara said, looks like you're turning chalk.
Yeah.
Amy said Brian's had to go to counselling after his resin experience. Oh dear.
So obviously, because the Milliput is softer than the wood, when you get your rough lines you want to start going in there with a scraper of some sort, really. So you don't divot the Milliput. That's when it becomes messy, when it comes off in strings like that. So what we want to do is bring that flush to bring our lines back in what we put in. Oh, I like that mottled effect. That's pretty. So we've just got a little bit more to get rid of there, and a little bit there, but we ain't far off of it.
Radar Woodturner's on.
Right, radar. Just a little bit there.
Oh,
Fiddlesticks.
Amy said it's Mother's Day there next Sunday.
Oh,
Ours is in March.
oh, I've missed that.
I never get the day off, so.
So we've got a mottled effect in there that we wanted, so that's nice. I think we can get away
Is that a
with.
question for Steve, Ben?
So I think we can get away with sanding the rest of that. But I think what I'll do first is hollow this bit out here before we sand it up. Got Milliput stuff to my face.
Would you like me to come and brush it off for you?
No, because you'll bring the hard brush. I can have a mouthful of my coffee though.
Scar or something.
Scara.
Scar.
Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hollow this out here, this dish bit out here. So then we can sand it all in one hit and finish it off. So I think I'll just sharpen my gouge up a little bit because she's a little bit blunt hitting that Milliput. Just sharpen this up a little bit with a give it a nice sharp edge to finish that off. Brought the Hoover went in the way. Right, so just finish that. It's a little bit high. So we'll put it on that camera so you can see a bit better. I won't be going to go too deep with this because obviously it's only a bit of 40mm worktop. Oops. The last little cut. Oh, I think I've got a little bit of a hump in the middle. Just take a little bit more out of there. We'll get the traditional grind on that because there's a bit of a sharp, steep cut on there. So we'll just use the traditional grind just to clean that out.
Door 60s on.
Right, door. Twist a little bit lower, I think. Bit of speed. Right, there we go. So just get that sanded up.
Yay, Brian's got his link done for tomorrow.
Oh, bravo, Brian, bravo. Right, sander.
Right,
Sand it,
Barry's
sand.
Wood Creations would like to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to his channel. He's had a bit of a surge recently and only 40 away from 400 now.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done. Anybody who's not subscribed to him, pop over and sub to him. Right, so let's get this let's get this sanded up.
Everything's usually Mark's fault, Jennifer, not Brian's.
We're going to sand the middle bit up with a drill and do the rest with the inertia sander. So I'm going to sand this up to 240 grit.
Terry Bartlett's on.
Right, Terry. So like we always say, when you're sanding, don't be frightened to stop and check. Make sure you're getting all the sand, all the tool marks out. Because it's too easy to sand up to your final grit and then realise you've still got tool marks in it. So always nice just to stop every now and again and have a look. So final grit 240.
Ouch.
So now we're going to do the outside. Exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same because we're going to use the inertia sander. Try not to hover over your milliput too long because it's quite soft, so that will eat away quite quick. And then you'll end up with an indentation in it rather than being flat with the rest of the piece. So 120. Whoops, don't know what I'm pulling it off there for. 180. And then the final one, 240. Put a new one on there.
Ruby's on. She said, quite unique, Steve.
Sorry?
Quite unique, Steve.
Who said that?
Said Ruby.
Thank you, Ruby.
You got a question? Wait a minute.
So that's up to 240.
Woodwork Learner said, does Milliput sand like wood or polish like resin?
It's softer than wood, so obviously when you're sanding it, you need to keep it fairly flat, because if not, that'll indent into the milliput and then give you a dip in it rather than being nice and flat. It polishes up, not like resin, because it's not obviously not as hard as resin, but you can get a nice sheen on it. You'll see when we get the Yorkshire gritted how nice that comes up. So we're just going to blow all the dust off of it. We'll get some sand and sealer on it.
No, no carrots today, Rich. The shopman's coming later. But no doubt the rabbits will end up with most of the carrots. So. Ooh, that's nice. Oh.
God. So we're going to give it a nice couple of coats of sand and sealer. So are you.
Nothing.
Does it smell?
No. Well, because that radiator in the bathroom's horrid, so I thought, oh, I'll look at a new one. I see this really nice one. 240 quid. I do not think so. We'll just have a basic one.
Right, so let that dry. I'll have a mouthful of my coffee while that's dry.
You will not.
I will.
You have not got.
So I know my coffee's going cold because my cup's going dark again.
That's your things that you know now, don't you?
Right, so Yorkshire grit. Yorkshire grit original. Oh no, tissue's nearly out.
Now I do carrots every week, Brian. Especially now we've got these rabbits. I absolutely love them, don't they? But I forgot to get a cabbage for them, so I'm gonna have to pop out and.
Right, so Yorkshire grit.
Don't be so rude.
Yorkshire grit.
Barry, Woodturning by Barry, so that's looking nice, Steve.
Thank you, Barry. Right.
Keith's got to go. He's got visitors at the door. Take
See you later,
care.
Keith. Thanks for coming over.
Pete said, I did pick the right day for a ride up to Makershifty Central, 200 miles and sunshine before the weather realised it was a bank holiday. Benjamin said, who on earth can afford to install walnut worktops? Was the customer a millionaire?
Yeah, they're not that bad. They're more expensive than oak. You'll be surprised how much people spend on kitchens, mate.
And then they don't look after them, don't they, mate?
20, 26, 27 grand some people spend on kitchens.
And then you get the people that don't look after the worktops.
Nope, they don't care. They have natural wood worktops. You tell them they got to treat them at least twice a year. And you go back a couple of years later because they're all gone black because they hadn't sealed them properly and they got wet and there's chop marks in them and all sorts. But hey, it's their money. They do what they want. I don't care.
Brian's put rabbit. I thought there was one. No, you can't just have one. It's not fair on him.
Yeah, right.
So, you can tell Steve didn't have no input in this whatsoever. So
Because it weren't very well thought through,
shush.
Brian.
We got two. So they keep each other company. And they are the loveliest things. And Steve will even say they're lovely because he feeds them every morning.
Yeah, why do I feed them?
Because you're the only one up.
To
But
fatten
you
them
do
up.
feed them.
I
You
do
do
feed
feed them every day. Whatever you say, you feed them every day.
I do, because
You love
nobody's
it.
up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I am, but you love it. You could leave it until I get up, but no, he has to feed him. And he talks to him, and he was cuddling him the other day. So don't let him tell you any
I was
different.
cuddling them. I was picking up and putting them back in its cage.
No, you weren't. You was cuddling it. You talk to him, Steve. Come on, you go
Well,
to the cage and you talk to them.
that's any common sense I get speaking to the rabbits.
So we have two called Thumper and Flopsy. And Flopsy's so funny. Casey had hold of her, didn't she? Had her ear. She had one ear up and one ear down.
Right, so let's buff
There's
that
no way
off.
am I singing. You've got no hope. Like Miller singing the Gritty song. No, it's not rabbits for casseroles. No, that's right, Brian. See, sounds like horses. You can't possibly just have one. I can't wait to go and visit his horses. Oh, I've got pins and ears in my foot.
I think he's looking for a new stable hand. So
Yeah, you're not funny. Off you go then. Oh dear.
right, so we're just going to buff this off until we get all the grit off of it. As you can see, the sheen's coming on the Milliput already.
Copper our wood turnings on.
All right, what about you do?
What's that?
The only trouble is, Pete, the rabbits are female as well.
Terry said, and the rabbits don't answer back, Steve.
No, that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Right, so there we go. Yorkshire grit. You can
Brian
see the
said,
Milliput.
stop digging, Steve. You're in enough trouble.
You can see the Milliput now has got a slight sheen on it. So obviously you could go over it with whatever you wanted. I'm going to go over it with microcrystalline wax from Chestnut. You could go over it with high gloss wax. You could go over with clear coat lacquer, depending on what you wanted to. But I'm just going to go over it with a piece of microcrystalline.
They're not for eating.
Who said that?
The rabbits. Me. And we did have female rabbits. We didn't go on any plan to have boys or girls. It was that Casey just picked one she liked the look of. And so the first one she fell in love with, when they picked it up, it was a girl. So then they obviously had to sex them and make sure that the others were girls as well. So touch wood, we've not had no babies. So hopefully we're both girls.
Well, we've only had them 2 weeks, so we ain't got babies yet.
There's no telling, Steve.
We don't want babies.
No, that would be a funny thing. That would.
No. It wouldn't be funny at all.
That would be funny. That'd be just hilarious.
No. Then we would be eating them.
You will not.
Right, so let's buff this up. So exactly the same as the Hampshire sheen. You don't need to apply no pressure. You just letting the wax do all the work. And we'll see what we can get out of it. Good thing about crystalline is the more if you touch it with your hand, you're not going to get fingerprints all over it, so it's a bit better than the high gloss wax. Just put a little bit on the back there because I just gritted the back of that. So let's just buff it off. So as you know, I mean, this isn't really a usable piece, it's more of a decorative piece. I suppose you could chuck your keys or coins in the middle of it. But it was more about showing you the effect on the Milliput than anything else. So there we go. That's the look. Let's put it on the end camera so you can get a better look at it. So there you go. That's the
That's the end of today's live. Nice for you all come over, and we'll see you again next week.
So obviously if we'd have mixed this a bit better, we could have got a bit more mottling effect in that. But you see, this is really what we would look for. This sort of stuff here. These are quite a bit big and chunky. If I'd have broke it and folded it a few more times, that would have gradually gone thinner and thinner. But it's all right. It's what it is. You can't really adjust the technique. It's once you've done the technique, unfortunately, you have to have what it gives you. So that's what it is. All right, so let's get that out. So is there any questions on? I think I've explained that fairly well. I think that's explanatory, really. You can see the Milliput has got a nice sheen to it. The actual Milliput's got a better shine to it than the wood, but if you spend a bit of time putting layers of wax and that over it, you could get a better finish on it. I might go over and put another coat on it. Let that one soak in, and then put another coat over it. But yeah, it's all right. It's nice. Nice little bit of texture in the back we did.
Right. Roy's the boys on.
All right, Roy, how you doing, mate?
Gary Glass says, so you won't be eating rabbit stew out of it, Steve.
No.
Woodwork Learner said more like coin, not coins these expensive days, Steve.
A little bit of texture in the back there, you see. Nice.
Have you ever had rabbit gravy? It's great.
Nice, like it.
Wait a minute, you got some comments. What did? Weeval said, wow, pure dead brilliant.
Thank you, Val.
Colin Izzard looks great. Tipsy Turner, that's beautiful, sir. Woodwork Learner looks really nice, Steve. Todd said, beautiful, Steve. Copperell, that's beautiful, Steve. TJ, that looks great, Steve. Michelle, that's lovely, Steve.
Thank you.
Gary said, that looks good. Roy said, can you do it again as I was late?
No, Roy, rewind.
Radar said, looks awesome, Steve. Colin said, stunning. Michael says, very nice. Nick Castle said, what is the shelf life of Milliput?
Well, I've got some Milliput in here from 2020. Well, actually, the terracotta I used had 2020. It was from 2020. Let's see if I can find it. I can't see. I ain't got my glasses.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's a date on here. I don't know if there's a date on the box anywhere. But I think as long as it's not been opened and the air's got to it, then I think you're fine, to be perfectly honest. I can't see any date stamped in the box anywhere. But as you know, like it's like any two-part something. As long as it's got no air to it, I can't really see the problem. They do come in. They come in cellophane packets, so they actually come wrapped like that, so the air can't get into them. I mean, they're obviously tied up, but they're still quite soft, and these are from 2020. The ones I used in there, the actual hardener side of it had started to go a bit firm. Took a little bit of working, but once I got it moving, it was fine and moved it and worked in well. And obviously, it must have still been okay because it went hard. It was hard within 12 hours of putting it in, so it still works okay. So I think as long as you don't let the air get to it, you're fine. So what I do is if I cut a little piece off of it, I just make sure I fold the bag up really well and put some masking tape around it so the air can't get into it. So yeah, I don't think there's an issue. And like I say, it's not mega expensive. I think it's about, depending on the colours. If you get the basic colours like the natural, or I think it's the terracotta ones are the cheapest. But then when you go to the whites and blacks, they seem to be more expensive for some reason. But it's good. So yeah, that's that one. So what we're going to do is hashtag week now.
You don't want to read what they've put.
Oh, go on. Sorry. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
So anyway, thank you all for your lovely comments. I'll just read the questions. Everyone's saying how nice it was. And Doug said, what does Milliput cost over there? It's a bit expensive here.
Let's have a quick look for you while Nick's reading out.
Pete says, very nice, Steve. What am I turning tomorrow lunchtime? Question mark. He's put his YouTube channel in. Woodwork Learner said, mine's at least 4 years old. Lose them, then find them. Misplace again. Gary Glass said they're about £4 or £5.
So yeah, I'm now looking at the eBay site. Standard one is £4.55. Super white is super fine white is £6.20. Black is £6.20. Silver grey is £5.99. Terracotta is £5.65. Turquoise blue they call it, which is it's more of a, well, I suppose it's a turquoise blue, egg blue I call it.
Egg blue.
Well, it's more like a duck egg blue than me.
I was going to say.
£8.45 for the turquoise blue one. So
they said they had them at the show for £4.70. So
yeah, normally when you go to a show, you get all 5 for like 20 quid. That's the last place I got my last ones from. So depending on where you go, they do vary in price a little bit. But shop about. eBay is the cheapest. That's where I used to get my first lot. But like I say, I was quite lucky when I went to Makers the first time. The guys from Milliput actually gave me some to try, so I was quite lucky there. But like I say, it's just shopping around, and you can, if you go into a show, you can normally get all 5 colours for like 20 quid. So that's when I go to Harrogate, that's what I'll be doing, stocking up on it. Right, yeah, so thank you very much for the lovely comments. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, I'll get some pictures up on social media. of that. That does, obviously the cameras never do it justice, but it does look nice. I do like it. It's just something different. Right, so this month's hashtag. So all I'm going to say is Terry Bray. Everybody's got to blame Terry Bray for this. So this month's hashtag is, I'm going to bring a picture up of what it is. Just 1 second, because my computer rebooted. I lost the page. So just give me a second and I'll bring it up. So this is a hashtag that's many different forms. Let's put it that way. So there's no one wrong or right shape, style, size, whatever. So this is the one. Let me just change this, because obviously we're now, actually I'll bring that on that page and that'll be fine then. So this is what it is. So it's a lace bobbin. So Terry came up with the idea of doing lace bobbins, and as you can see, that's just one style, anywhere between 4 and 6 inches long, and roughly the size of a pen blank to turn your lace bobbin. If you don't know what a lace bobbin is, then please go and check it out. It's basically something that you use to create lace shawls or mats or whatever you want to call it. So I've never turned one of these. I didn't even know they existed until Terry said about it on Friday night. So what I have is, I've got a pen blank here. The size of this pen blank is 180mm long by 25mm square. So that's what I'm going to use for this. So I'm going to change this chuck to my SC2 chuck, get this in the chuck, and then we're going to have a go at turning a lace bobbin. Something that looks like that. Hopefully, he says. And I know Terry wants me to turn it with a skew, so I will try and turn some of it with a skew, but it's not all going to be with a skew, but you guys can turn it with whatever you want. As always, it's all about your interpretation of what it is. Again, you can colour them if you want, but what Terry did say is there's supposed to be a hole in this end here, so you can put some beads or something through to identify, because I think people who are making lace items have different sizes of lace bobbins to do different size holes and this, that and the other. So I think from what I understand Terry was saying was that you have beads through the end so you can identify the different sizes or something, or I'm not 100%, I think that's what he meant, but I may be wrong. So let's get this pen blank in and get the chuck changed and see what we can do. So I'm going back over to the lathe. Nick's going to sing to you while I change this chuck over.
I'm not. You're turning that's on the screen?
I'm going to try. Only one of them, not all of them.
Okay.
Why? What's wrong with it?
I didn't know that's what it was.
Well, do you want to have a go doing it?
No, I do not.
So I'll just put that chuck on back on there.
Trying to get daughter's boyfriend on it, ain't you?
Well, you can have a go. I ain't got a problem if you want to have a go, but he's a busy lad. Right, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure my centres line up, because it's been a while since I did some spindle work. So we'll put that in there.
I might have to pop in the house anyway.
No, don't go.
Yeah, I'm going to stop washing out.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Right, so that lines up. So we'll take that one out. So I'm hoping that I can just grab this in this chuck, which I've got a feeling I'm not going to be able to. Not quite. So I'll put my SC4 back in then, because I can hold that in the SC4, I know. I shouldn't have changed it, but never mind. Come back, my old faithful. Alright. know I can grab this in there. So, like I said, sizes are between 4 and 6 inches.
Colin said, could it be made out of resin?
You can make it out whatever you want, Colin. So, like I say, sizes are between 6 and 4 inches.
Dawn said the beads are to add weight.
Ah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round this off with a skew, do a little bit with a skew, and then the rest will be with spindle gouge most probably. It's a bit close in there. So my freshly sharpened skew that Pete did for me. So round this off. It's a bit, it's a bit tight in there. I might use a smaller tool rest actually. Might be a bit better. That's better.
Terry said they're very popular in Victoria time before machines. The
Oh,
ladies used to make all sorts of lace. Brian said the beads are used to add weight and identification as there can be over 100 bobbins used
wow.
on some lace patterns.
Over 100 bobbins. That's a lot of bobbins, isn't it? Right, so I think we've got that nearly round. So we'll put some pencil lines on this. So this is going to be my handle. So let's have a look at that picture again, just so it gets fresh in my head. So got a ball there and a ball at the end. Maybe the handle's a little bit too long then.
Terry said he made them to practice with a skew, warm up before the job I may be doing.
So something like that, I reckon. So let's just put a parting tool in there so we've got a rough idea where our lines are going to be.
Roy said he had his Maker's t-shirt on yesterday.
Who did?
Roy?
I thought I saw you wearing it. I thought that was what you was wearing, Roy, when I see the pictures on Facebook. I see you captured Pete in the background on one of your photographs.
Terry said he's got to go. Best of luck, everyone. Don't forget to photos into Steve.
Yeah. So what we'll do is, as always, we'll do the photographs 2 weeks from today. So my glamorous assistant will tell us the date.
1 second.
So I think this shaft has to be between 3 and 5 millimeters, if I remember rightly, when I was reading.
Right, what do you want me to do?
2 weeks from today, please.
You're joking that you can't work out 2 weeks. What's 14 add 1, Steve?
13.
Right, so it's the 15th of May.
There you go.
So you'll want them in by the
Friday afternoon, if possible.
bots. And shit, skkrafts in it. Oh no, guess what? It's Friday the 13th that week. Nick Castle's got to go. Good live as usual. Take care, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for coming over, mate. Have a good day.
Woodturning with Barry, he's got to go as well. Catch you later.
See you later, Barry. Thanks for coming over.
Douglas Mungham's on.
Hi, Douglas.
He said he's late. He's just got in from trying to turn a spalted beach fruit bowl.
Oh, nice. Spotwood
How did that
Beach.
go? Philip Clements is on from Oz.
Who, sorry?
Philip Clements. He's in Oz.
Hi, Philip. So for the two guys who have just come in, we're doing this month's hashtag is a lace bobbin. I'm going to turn this shaft down to about 5 mil. Let's use a bit of that because you don't want that big. So just get a vernier and just check the width of those. They still look
Back in a minute.
they look about 8 mil to me, and they are 8 mil. Just lose a bit of that. So obviously the thinner we get, the more delicate that's going to be in there, so we don't want to be pushing too hard on that. So let's just check that. Once we get to a rough size, we can then clean it up. So that is 6mm. Got a little bit thinner to go off. I think I'll clean it up with a scraper, I think. A nice gentle pass, as if not that's going to snap. So let's just check that now. Are you still at Makers in Raw, or did you only go yesterday? Right, so that's 5mm. This one's a little bit thicker, so we'll just take that one down a little bit. So I'm just going to put a line back in there. So we've got a little bit of definition line. Like that. Just put a little bit of a round on those. I'm going to take them down a little bit actually, because I think they're a bit too big. So now we can concentrate on our handle. I'm going to leave the handle quite chunky, I think. Because obviously, if you're someone like me who's got big paws, then we're just going to gently feather that in. So now we'll put a definition line in our handle. Just curve it over. So now we've got to put a little ball on our end. So let's lose that. Let's take that a little bit tighter now. See if we can get a bit closer. There you go. It's a bit closer. Oh, right, I see, Brian. But I don't want to go too tight on that until we get that sanded up. So I just want to remove a little bit of this end. The staff has deserted me. What's going on? Right, so we're going to sand that with some Abranet. So I'm going to sand that from 120, if I can find it. There we go, 120. Are you back?
Yeah. Oh, that do look pretty.
Very delicate, isn't it? Don't push on it too hard, that'll snap. So I'd imagine when these was originally used, they weren't really finished or high quality because it was just being used, weren't they? Like I say, never turned one before. Didn't even know what it was until Terry said on Friday night. And always, like I say, all the time, it's your interpretation. So have a go. That's what it's all about, having a go. They're not in there. I thought there was a hunk out there, but it's not.
No, Douglas, no carrots today. The shopping's not coming until later because we've had to pop out this morning. I want to make stuffies on.
Good evening. Or afternoon, even.
Evening.
Right, so 120, 180. Again, I'm going to take it up to 240.
Pete said they're still used, Steve. Hobby lace makers is a growing market and they're as bad as wood turners for buying new stuff.
So 180, 240. So what we'll do now is to sand and seal that. And we'll get it sealed up in Yorkshire grid. so it's nice and smooth. Just focus that a little bit better than that. So I turn this out of a piece of oak. Obviously, you can turn yours out whatever you want. If you do one, that is, you might not want to do one.
Oh, John Mooney had to go. Did you know that?
No?
He's got work duties.
Oh.
Steve, are you starting a new channel, Knitting with Steve? Radar asked.
It's lacing with Steve. It's actually nice to do something a bit delicate rather than something big and chunky all the time. Alright, so let's put that out of the way. Get some grit. So a little bit of grit. Work that in.
Yeah, Barry's right. He said would have loved to have gone to Makers, but just couldn't justify the cost. Tickets, fuel, hotel, and parking's very expensive by all accounts.
Who's that?
That's what Barry Woods Creation said about Makers.
Yeah, isn't it expensive? I mean, tickets 25 quid each. It's a lot of money for a ticket for a day.
Don't know why they need to charge so much. It is a bit bad.
Well, considering Harrogate's only like 12 quid. But like I always said, Makers is more about the YouTubing side of things. It's not really. Well, it is about. There is a lot of makers there, and a lot of trade stands, and a lot of companies are there promoting their products. But it's initially all about the YouTube community more than anything else, really. I mean, you get a lot of people there like Duresta. I don't know if Bobby Duke's there this year, but I know. I can't think of the guy's name. Someone Brown, his name is. Can't think of his name. He's there. Colin Furs. Scott Grover's there. Obviously, Jake Thompson, JP. I mean, quite a lot of YouTubers are all there. It's good to go, but I would like to have gone, but I have to make a commitment, one or the other. So just clean that
Can
off.
you just say what the hashtag is again? Because I want to make stuff missed it. He said you don't know what the hashtag weekly announcement was.
It's hashtag lace bobbin. Do you want to put it in the chat?
No. So Pete went on his bike and he said it was free parking for bikes.
Yeah. Tenner for
100
cars, I
miles
think.
from Bristol.
Right, so that's the Yorkshire gritting. So we just put a bit of wax on that. Actually, let's put some friction polish on it. Didn't use friction polish for a while.
I just need you to come and sign into your email account. It won't let me in.
Email account.
Your skkrafts one.
What, email?
Yeah.
Why?
What, saying the password's wrong?
No, I don't know what it is.
It won't even let me into you.
Yeah, well, don't go from that computer anyway. Use one in the house.
Well, I just wanted to have a quick look at something, that was all.
Well, you can do it in the house when you go in. All right, friction polish. Bit of friction polish. So, just get a bit on a cloth.
Pete said tomorrow's lunchtime live could be short, done 6 of them so far. Woodwork learner, you'll need steel-toed shoes in Harrogate as I'll be on my mobility scooter. Benjamin said Suffolk to Harrogate is 200 miles. Barry said he's looking forward to going to Harrogate.
Yeah,
Mark's
Harrogate.
looking forward to Harrogate.
Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend.
That's what I thought, Steve. I went for Harrogate as my show for this year.
Who said that?
Brian, sorry.
Oh, Brian, yeah.
Roy said his hotel was only £46 for 2, including breakfast. Where
Yeah.
was that at, Roy?
You had to share it with 7 other people, but joking. I mean, the hotel. I think I had our hotel booked, and it was 164 quid. I think for was it 164, Nick?
It was less than that, 116.
No, that was the first one I booked. This one was 3 days.
Oh, right, I don't know.
I think I had to pay an extra 40 odd quid when I got there. But
So Mr. G said when's the show on at Harrogate, and Mark said 11th to the 13th of November.
Yep.
Barry said he heard it was £16 parking at the NEC. See, why
Oh,
does it have to be so expensive? It's ridiculous.
a lot of money in it.
Imagine £16 for parking, 25 quid for a ticket. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's £41 there.
That's if there's only one of you going.
Yeah.
Right, so let's part this off now.
He put, but parking in a disabled parking about 100 metres from the entrance cost £21.
Jesus. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
That's nearly more than his hotel.
Like you say, there's no need for it to be that expensive. Yeah, they dropped that then. So snap that bit off it.
I mean, if there's a lot of people going, you have to arrange a meet, ain't you?
Where's that?
Do you know what I mean? Well, if there's a lot of you, like people off the chat and that, they're all going to want to meet each other. It's not...
Well, they ain't going to want to meet us. They see us every time they come in live. Right, so let's just trim this up. We'll be at Harrogate. I'll be floating around all weekend.
Well, I don't know that I'm going anyway yet.
You are. She will. She's the famous part of the channel. Hashtag Nikki at Harrogate meetup. We'll get some stickers. The carrot chopper. Nikki the carrot chopper. Let's just clean it up a little bit. Actually, I'll do it on the lathe. That'd be easier, I think.
Roy stayed at the Holiday Inn Express Hotel.
Oh, that's dead opposite the NEC.
Pete said that can't be because he went in his car to park. Hotel prices are getting silly. Going to a gig in June 2 years ago, premiering £30. This year, £360 for one night.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Trouble is, these companies are trying to rake all their money back in from what they lost through the pandemic. That's the trouble. And if they ain't careful, they're going to kill the tourist trade just through being greedy. But saying that, it's no different to what the fuel companies are doing and energy companies are doing. Everybody's just trying to do everybody over at the moment, unfortunately. Right, so let's just sand this back. I say you can do this by hand, but I'm going to do it on here because I can.
Trouble is, the hotels know when to rack the prices up when there's events going on, because they know people want to be near as possible.
Especially NEC. So I'm just going to sand this up to 240. And then we'll just finish it. And that is our hashtag then. Don't know if I've made it right or whether it's the right shape or the right size or what. I ain't got a clue. Like I say, I never didn't even know about that. I didn't even know they existed. Let's put it that way. So final one, 240 grit. So I'm just going to put a dollop of sand and sealer on the end of that. Just to seal it. And there we have our lace bobbin. It's a bit small, isn't it?
I'll put new sanding discs for Steve.
There you go. Nice little lace
Did you hear
bobbin.
that?
Yes.
He's got loads of them. You got to see him all in his little rack. Bless him.
You depend. You're surprised how many you go through. You go through a lot. So nice little actually. Just just put a little bit of friction polish on the end of that because that's got a funny colour. It's a different colour to the rest. So just put a dab of friction polish on there. You go through sanding pads a lot quicker than anything else when you're turning because obviously they get blocked up and surprising how quick they do actually wear down when you're turning. That's why we always say that you don't need to push a lot of pressure on it because as soon as you put pressure on it, you actually melt the sanding pad and take the abrasiveness out of the sanding pad. So, but even then, you still use quite a lot. I would imagine I go through. Well, I haven't bought any for a while because myself and some of the guys bought loads of sandpaper, which I'm cutting up to use as sanding pads. But other than that, I used to go through a box of 50 about every month of each grit. So anyway, there it is. Nice little bob spacing? No, a lace bobbin. So
Reading the chat, sorry.
So yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys. You know, again, that can be coloured. Obviously, you're supposed to put a hole through here for beads to go in. This is, let's say, the blank was 180 mil long. So this has ended up being 150 mil long dead. Look, actually dead on 150 mil, so 6 inches. I left the handle just under the size.
Pipette, Benjamin. It looks like one of those things you squeeze to let out a drop of fluid.
I made this just under the, well, roughly the size of the pen blank, just took the corners off of it. But if you look at the ones that I showed online, they actually got the corners left on but just rounded off a little bit. So that's a nice style as well. But
Mark
yeah.
Greenwell said Harrogate is £9 for us oldies and free parking for all.
Yeah, it's free parking at Harrogate. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, have a go. Have a go. It's something to try. And as always, if you'd like me to show them, send me over the pictures to skkrafts@btnet.com, and then we will do a montage of everybody's to show what people have done, like we always do. So let's come back on, turn those off. Let's come back on that camera. Get rid of that. We don't want that back up, do we? Actually, it might be a better look for you. Right, so there we go. Little lace bobbin. I think these might have been a little bit too big and bulbous. If you look at the picture, they're quite a little bit thinner.
Douglas has put hashtag flowers for Nikki.
Not that again, Douglas. Right, so yeah, have a go. If you want to colour it, even better. If you want to make it from resin, make it from resin. Make it out whatever you want. Different styles and different techniques are always welcome, and it's always nice to show everybody else's interpretation of it. So if you go and look online, there's absolutely hundreds and hundreds of different styles, and this is one that was sent over to me, or that one was sent over to me to have a look at them. So I thought that I would do that sort of style. I know it's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. So,
okay, so in the description, I've put Steve's skkrafts account for you to send his emails to of your pictures. Also, it's hashtag lace bobbin. I am also going to put Brian and Pete. Do you want to put your links in for tomorrow? So that'll be, and then this is the link for Wood Wizardry by Colin. He's got a premiere going out tomorrow at 11 o'clock, so have a look at that. Dara said, do the beads hang from the end?
the beads hang from this end apparently. Dara, you drill a hole in there, and then you put beads in here to identify, and like people have said, to weight the end down. So, like I said, I know nothing about them. Absolutely, I've not read up on them. I've not actually. Like I said, I didn't even know they existed until Friday night. So if you go on to, I went on Google and had a quick look this morning, and there was just so many different variations of them. I messaged the guys and said, "Look, what's a lace bobbin?" And they sent me through one of those, or Brian sent me through a link for those pictures. So that's where I got it from.
Right. So Brian said a small hole drilled in the ball at the end to hang the beads on.
There you go.
I've put the link in for yours, Brian. Pete's put his link in as well. So pop over and have a look at them guys tomorrow.
Yeah. So Pete will be on at 1 o'clock, and then Brian will be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
And then you got Colin's premiere at 11. Benjamin said, how much was that giant tin of thinners?
Giant tin of thinners from a automotive place local. I think it was about
automotive. You're not doing no advertising then.
No, 11 quid, 11, 12 quid, something like that. But you can get it from Amazon, Amazon and eBay for the same sort of money, I believe. But that's only standard wash thinners. That's not anti-bloom thinners or anything else. I just use that for thinning down the sand and sealer and clean and paint and all that.
Pete said it's actually easier to drill before shaping the end.
There you
go. Ruby says Dave Springer used to make them.
Oh, nice. Never heard of Dave Springer. I have to check him out.
Right. You done did it?
I think we're done. So thank you very much for coming over. So that was the Milliput. I'll get some photographs and put on social media of that just to show that.
Hold it up again because obviously some people missed it too.
So that's the Milliput one we did with turquoise and black.
Don't mention the mark on Steve's t-shirt. That was his egg from his egg.
every time I put a clean t-shirt on. So that was the black and turquoise Milliput we did last week. This is only a piece of oak worktop. Bit of texture, and we put in the back. I don't know if you can see that very well with the light shine a bit bright in that light. So a bit of texture,
glare, but that is nice.
Bit of texture in the back, which we did some gold embellishing wax on it. Yeah, it's nice little platter. It's got sort of like a fine saucer look to it, tapered in there. I always like to taper the front edge because it makes it look wider than what it actually is. If you did it straight, that wouldn't look as wide as that, but it's always nice. Not quite perfect in the sizing, but it's what it is. And just dished out gently in the middle. There's a little bit of a bulge in there. I might just put that back in the lathe, and there's a little bit of a hump in there where I sanded it a hump in there. I didn't finish sanding the middle properly, but I might just chuck that back in the lathe and finish it off. But other than that, I like it. And again, it's the hashtag. So hashtag, did you put hashtag bobbin,
I did.
lace bobbin?
I did.
So send them over to me by the 13th of May, which is a Friday. If you can get them to me by lunchtime, great. If not, by the end of Friday would be, fair enough. And then I'll get the montage together Saturday, ready for Sunday. So other than that, have a great bank holiday weekend. Hope you really enjoy yourself. Hope the weather's good where you are. Anyone, Douglas? Are you keeping up? Are you keeping you up, love?
Yeah, I'm so tired. Douglas
So
said how many eggs before the shirt got it.
just the one, right there, right
Enjoy
there.
it, Brian. Out in the shed.
So
I'm not allowed to call Steve's his shed. It has to be his workshop. Don't it, mate?
it's a workshop. So anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your bank holiday. If I don't see you before, I will see you Friday evening. Friday evening. Other than that, take care. Have a good one. Speak to you soon. Bye for now. Say bye, Nick.
Bye, Nick. Bye.
Every week. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.
That's all, folks.